every now and then you have to clean off your pallet. So I just scraped it off with the knife here, just kind of curving it along, and then it raises up, and then you can scrape it right off. And then I put a little bit of turpentine with a rag and just clean that off. And now I'm ready to start again. I'm not going to put anything over here by the hole, because that's where you tend to grab it right there with your hand. So you wouldn't want anything there. And since I'm working on a portrait, I'm going to put all these portrait colors, put a little blue in there, my purple. It's pretty oily stuff. A little bit of black, of course. And of course your whites. I do 2 piles of that. And then some reds. And now I'm ready to mix up my skin tone colors. So it's the part of the job that I guess you gotta really think about and do this right. You don't want to waste paint. You could almost make 2 piles of that, and then kind of add that. A little touch of red. A little touch of the purple. That's 1 pile. And let's take a look at our picture again. So we have a lot of these sort of pink purple kind of yeah, it takes a while, to sort of get the color you want. Try it out here. That's pretty brownish. I don't like that oil flying around. Try to clean up that oil. It's not really mixing. There it is. Now it is. Okay. A little bit more brown. This pile is getting very wide now. Now that's more like what I want. Now that's 1 color of many colors. Let's clean that off, and then start off with some red. Now notice I didn't really need that much white in that last batch. I like that color so much. Wow, look at that. That's a beautiful, beautiful color, that one. Just putting a little bit of everything into this. It's almost like skin just has like so many different colors in it. Oops, that's a little bit too much purple. See? Now you can kind of screw that up. But those are, as you can see, those are two different piles. Now, I could probably just use that to start a new pile. I can also lighten this up by just pulling this out to the side here and really blend all that in with the knife. Okay, so I blended that out. I could even go further and blend it out even more. Okay, now we're getting a lot of variations here. And really, when you're painting a portrait, the dark lines look like black, obviously, these black creases or whatever, but they're not black, so we know we have to make a very dark, using a lot of these different colors. And put a little brown in there. It's good just to have a lot of choices. Now from there, I'm just going to grab a little bit of the white and kind of pull off. Pull off to the side here. But that is becoming purple, you see that? That's kind of not what I wanted, okay? Clean off the brush here. Now the other thing we can do is just sort of a real dark brown. And we can get that by just dabbing a little bit of black in there. Just making a real dark brown. With a little bit of the red tint in there. There, so we've got a real nice dark brown. Just creating a lot of options for ourselves. And then, of course, these whites that we see on the face, those are not all white. And the lips look kind of purple. So what really makes the painting is getting the mixing close enough to the skin to what we're actually seeing, and then having all of the different gradients the way they are in the photo, or as close to as possible. And that's where the skill comes in. That's where, you know, it takes time to get your mixing down so that your eyes can calibrate and see what exactly is it looking at here in the photo. Now, as you can see, I'm getting it pretty close there, but my problem with this photo is that I'm suffering from the photo being too small, which is a bit difficult. So, I don't know. We probably have about 4 or 5 different skin tones in the photo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I could probably have a little bit of variation on one of these. Maybe I'll take this one and kind of whiten it out. Over here. Give me another option. And then sometimes, you know, you can mix in between these and kind of find a middle ground of what you're looking for. Now the red and the purple of the lips. See, when you're looking into these specific areas, you know, you do have reds. I mean, that is a red that you're seeing, you know, inside the lips. So, you know, you want to get that. It's kind of a brown red almost there. And a lot of these, the trick is a little dab will do you. Like that. So it's like, it's red, but it kind of looks like a brown. And then maybe you can lighten that up even more. Now if you we could experiment with putting a little bit of this on the edge, seeing where we go with it. That's not in the photo, see? That color is not in the photo. So that's not really useful for us. But this brown is more useful. That's more useful. Even if you create, you know, a few too many. Now, you see that I probably have the skin tone of my mother. And so I need to have more of a lighter orangish kind of a color. But we're not working on mine right now. So I believe it's tea time. So, take a break here. I've done my mixing. Once you've done your mixing, you too deserve a cup of tea. All right, well, welcome back. So now I'm back to the portrait here. And, yeah, I was just thinking about this picture. was actually thinking about my friend that I knew before in Cambodia. He used to work for he used to draw a lot of pictures of, the diplomats, the high diplomats, probably even, I think even the president he did portraits of, and pretty young guy. We used to have coffee together in the morning, and he used to tell me, "Oh, you're so much more free than me, you can do whatever you want." And but I would see him in his studio, he just looking at a cell phone while painting these gorgeous pictures, and I just thought, nah, I don't want to do that. I need a nice photo of, I need a high quality photo, which is one thing I do not have in this situation, which is why I'm kind of struggling with it. I just need a better quality photo. So I'm going to try to go down to the print shop and see if I can sharpen this thing up a little bit so that I can dig deeper inside and get the detail that I want. And but yeah, it's kind of like music. I mean, you can't reproduce a piece of music if you don't really hear the recording very well. What do you expect? I mean, you can ad-lib it, but it's, you don't know if it's the same thing. So anyways, but yeah, I'm enjoying working on this painting, and as I go along, I mean, I'm not a person to say that I am God's greatest gift to portraits. I mean, certainly I'm not going to be the guy to say that. I don't, I'm always learning. I'm always trying to improve, and like I was interviewing the guy, what's his name, Ben Lustenhauer, which is, he's a professional portrait artist in, where is he? Belgium, or I forget where he is, but in any case, he says, look, he's been doing this for most of his life, and he says, some days it just doesn't come together, and but of course, the more you do something, and the more you have control of the wheel, so to speak. I mean, you're not going to forget how to drive. I mean, you might be a little bit quirky and awkward in some certain days with driving, and it's like, oh God, I forgot to whatever, it's like, but how to drive. And so I think when you really get into it deeply with the mixing, and that's kind of what I was doing in the beginning, was just taking the time to mix, because it's all right there. If you can just kind of, okay, what is that? It's like your eyes are kind of playing tricks on you. It's like, it's a pink, it's a purple, it's a brown. What the heck? It's kind of like when you're looking at river water, when you're painting the river. It's like, what is that? Green, brown, black, purple. It's like, that's a river, and it's great to get out there and paint from life, because then you become a mixing master. But yeah, I still hear my teacher's voice in my head: mix your paint, don't be lazy, just mix your paint. And I prefer, even if I have a second palette mixed up, so that I have enough room. I mean, I just want to have a lot of options. That's what I like. I like to have a lot of options when I'm working, so that I don't have to stop the flow and stop and mix again. Or it's like, oh gosh. So, my routine is like, make my cup of tea, sit down, have a nice quality picture to look at, mix up your colors, and the rest will be a lot easier.
because you're basically just placing the colors where they need to be. And yeah, of course, there's more detail in the eye area and stuff like that, but yeah, that's what it is. That's what portraits are. So, well, thanks for being here. I did fix a vacuum yesterday, and I'll show you some footage of that as a bonus. Anyways, thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.
It's a vacuum. Oops, vacuum.